Alrighty, partners. For your safety, remain seated with your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the train, and be sure to watch your kids. If any of you folks are wearing hats or glasses, best remove them, because this here's the wildest ride in the wilderness.
There we are. Okie dokie. There we go. All right. Oh, do we have to do this again oh man, we have to do this again in Discord again. Alrighty, hold on a second. Hold on. Stream 2. Alrighty, guys. Well, we're getting that going. Okay, now it's working. Alrighty. Well, welcome aboard, everybody. It is your host and conductor on this wild ride, Demetrius Villa. We will find out. It is 8:06, so we will find out if okay, we're good on both sides. There we go. What a song. Yeah, it is. What a song. Iron, cold iron shall be master of them all. And that song has a lot of meaning of what we're going to go through tonight. We got, well, let's real quick. The little guy hasn't come out yet. So we're waiting maybe another week or so. We're going to give it time. Let him have his time. Okay. No, good things should not be forced. Okay. Let him all come in God's due time. And we'll go. By the way, happy Easter, everyone. Happy blessed Easter. Hope you're all doing well. For the Orthodox, Eastern Orthodox out there, happy Holy Week. You will have your Easter next coming Sunday. But I hope you all are doing well. So let's get to it. Let's see what happens tonight. But let's just get through this first so we can get all the Iran stuff and everything else coming, all the bad stuff out of the way. And then let's get into the 60 minutes segment on High Speed Rail, because that is extremely important, because it just shows what's going on in the Normieverse. What are they watching, and what is the consensus right now on High Speed? Because we've been at this for years, nearly more than 10 years now at this point of what we've been talking about for High Speed Rail. Happy Easter, A2R Gaming. Hello, Adam Becerra, and I'm pretty sure everybody's going to be coming in just a little bit. But let's get going, and we have Minor Tree on board, Adam Everywhere, and I'm pretty sure more people are going to be coming on there. Mr. Reed's Trains, hello there. Hey, yeah, here is an article. The U.S. is not built for war or peace. America's industrial resilience gap. Let's just go through this real quick. I'm going to give myself just 5 minutes to get through these articles, and I think we can do it on good time. But yeah, this is what we've been talking about before. America is so far behind, and our grid and our infrastructure system is so fragile right now. Like we saw in the last stream, there are 100-year-old bridges just falling apart out there. And it's going to take 4 years, more than 4 years, to go ahead and replace a little bridge in Indiana. And I'm pretty sure this whole story just repeats everywhere, no matter where you go across the United States, from sea to shining sea, of how infrastructure is falling apart, bridges are crumbling, roads are split to pieces. There's trash everywhere. It sucks. It honestly sucks. There's nowhere else. There's nothing else to say. But here you go. The same cascading failure that paralyzed civilian mobility could halt the movement of forces from port to port. Friction emerges not from a single event, but from interdependent systems degrading in unison. So yeah, the same stuff that we've been talking to. Good article if you guys want to go ahead and see it. This is from the FPR, the Foreign Policy Research Institute. But good article if you want to go into this more. A nation must think before it acts. The U.S. is not built for war or peace. Again, we don't have the capacity for this war. We don't even have the capacity to really rebuild our country right now. And there's little things going on over here. This is an article. I meant to go ahead and share this like 2 months ago already, during the great freeze that we had. But in Wisconsin, my wife's state of Wisconsin, Madison, Wisconsin. Madison proving that electric buses can run through frightfully cold winters, providing a blueprint for zero-emission transit. Long story short, they had an issue with these buses before. They finally fixed it. It's actually working now. The problem is that we can't go ahead and replace this all over the country if we really wanted to go ahead and replace all our buses on the electric grid, because the grid's owned by a whole bunch of greedy pieces of garbage, and they're getting called out for it now. AES Indiana cancels first Indianapolis community open house due to threats. Yeah, so the same electric companies that refuse to build anything substantial, like small modular nuclear reactors or anything real, they'll keep going ahead and jumping up your wattage per hour rates while data centers are getting built all over the place. There's no real infrastructure to actually support those data centers. Our electric grid still dates back to the 1970s. But yet, now they're getting all, now there's threats against us. How could this be? Wow. Could you really think about it? By the way, AES, which is the electrical grid, the electrical company here in central Indiana, now owned by BlackRock, of course. It's BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street, basically owning everything. That if that's not a monopoly in itself, and these companies, these private equity companies, all own shares of themselves. So I mean, it's technically that is a monopoly. But hey, I'm at least it's kind of funny now that how could this be? How could we getting threat? Wow, you mean you're screwing with other people's budgets already tight as they are thanks to inflation? They can't live anywhere substantial. Again, thanks to inflation, thanks to jobs being either offshored or being now nearshored or anything else. But now on top of that, the Postal Service for the first time is now having an 8% surcharge in fuel fees for the first time ever in American history. Welcome to 250, everybody. 250 years of American ingenuity, American innovation, American excellence, and an 8% surcharge in transportation costs for the U.S. Postal Service. That is just absolutely incredible. There we go. So yeah, like I've been saying, this is going to be hitting everybody's pocketbooks. And if it's not going to get worse, silver tsunami coming for small businesses. So a lot of these baby boomer businesses, again, a large part of the GDP. The GDP, the green line that goes, it must forever go up. But a lot of these businesses were propped up and did well when the time when you didn't have to go ahead and compete overseas, and they kind of stayed around. But now, because of the increased competition from a globalized economy, now because they're just a lot of these businesses were also, a lot of them got these PPP loans. If you remember those from COVID times. A lot of those PPP loans, again, billions upon billions of dollars, that you are, Gen Z millennials weren't really able to go ahead and get any of these loans. And then those loans were then again, they were forgiven. So the boomers got free money for a lot of their businesses to keep that going. And I got, let's run a little bit more. Let's just go a little bit more. Yeah. But there you go. Silver tsunami refers to the huge cohort of baby boomers who own companies and are nearing retirement. A lot of these companies aren't even, they don't even either work anymore. They're either propped up by small business loans that were forgiven, or their children just don't want to run their businesses anymore for a number of reasons. But again, it's getting worse. And where are you going to work? Well, they want you back in the office. This is news past hour. What's going on right now? Okay, let me see. What is going on? Let me see. Amtrak line proposed for Shreveport Bossier. Okay. Let's go ahead and check that. Alrighty. I'm going to put that on the docket for the news articles we go over. But yeah, this is, by the way, guys, I'm going to try to end this at 9:30. So let's see if we can get through this at 9:30. But yeah, while you can't even own your own businesses, you're forced to go ahead and go back into the office. Yeah. In order to prop up the fake economy when it comes to when it comes to work real estate. Yeah. Now they're getting all ticked off because nobody really wants to return to work because you're spending now more amount of time. By the way, there's a study now that people are spending more time on commutes than ever now. It's just increasing more and more year over year, and there's really no real fix to it. So yeah, back into the wagey cagey, back into the bigger wage cage, into the rat race. That's the solution. There you go. I don't know how long that's gonna last, because this is what's going on in other countries. I made a little bit of a reference to this the last time. But yeah, what's going on in Colombia is basically turned into Mad Max. They are fighting over Guzli over there. They are, here you go. Pipeline leak by Colombia's biggest oil company, Ecopetrol, flooded the San Silvestre wetlands with oil, causing immense harm to local wildlife. Gangs of pirates tapping into pipelines to steal and sell gasoline on the black market have resorted to violence to protect their territory on the water. Yeah, so it's basically turned into Waterworld slash Mad Max over in Colombia. So that could be something we could be looking at over here because, again, what's going on and what our country has been doing now, we're starting, and I hate to say that this is our country doing it because it sucks that we're tied to the hip with our leaders, that they're screwing us over by starting these wars for the Epstein class. This is Operation Epstein Fury. Here we go. Iran's war shock threatens England's farms 6,000 miles away. What does oil have to do with that? Well, as we talked about, remember in our stream last month, the gas economy stream, everything is basically based on the petrodollar and the petrol economy. Your plastics, everything, no matter what, production, fertilizer, everything is based on gas. To power all those equipment that plants all that agriculture. Yeah, that's all diesel. There you go, diesel tractor. This all takes energy, probably from natural gas pipeline. Again, it's all a gas economy. So there you go. By the way, 30% of the world's ammonia and fertilizer is dependent on the Strait of Hormuz being open. So yeah, this is what happens when we've based our entire economy on a globalized system where we have no interdependence on each other. I'm sorry, we have no dependency within our own country. We're not self-sufficient. Now we're all tied up and interdependent with whatever happens across the world, and that affects, let's say a working family in Iowa, affects a working family in New York, affects a working family in Los Angeles. It's not going to affect the ruling class that are hiding out in Indian Creek and Miami Beach, which, by the way, what a wonderful place. A very strategically poor place for the nation's billionaires to hide out in an island. By the way, if you don't know where that is, the place now where they're all hiding out at. See, we'll look at that later. But yeah, let's look at what Japan is. Sorry, I'm just crashing through these articles as quickly as possible over here. But yeah, forget these articles. Let's go to the real gist of why we're here. 60 Minutes came out this weekend with a segment documenting the failure of California's high-speed rail. And as goes California, so goes the nation. What's going on in California affects the rest of the country, and why America can't build anything great anymore. So let's get through this. We're going to quickly go through this as much as possible, and we'll hope to have the lines open for calls on Discord here, or for everybody to chat in on Discord. Hopefully by 8:45. So let's get through this. Again, it's an ARC stream, so not a lounge. Let's run through this, and this is a good topic we need to talk about.
It's hard to exaggerate the role of the train in the American story, or the romance of train travel, those iron horses galloping down tracks of steel. Why then has high-speed rail, so common in other countries, not tracked in the U.S.? An ambitious state-run project connecting LA and San Francisco has lurched, derailed, cost billions, and may never happen. One private company is betting that it can succeed where the public sector is not, but that too has had its bumps.
All right, so you know what the framing is. You know what the framing of this is going to be. This is going to be Brightline versus California high-speed rail, and that both of them are failing, but for the same reasons. Okay, now Brightline is not failing as badly as California. I wouldn't say Brightline is really failing, at least in Florida, but Brightline is failing to become a real reality as quickly as it needs to be between Los Angeles to Las Vegas because of the same issues plaguing California to a lesser degree. The issues are still there. And the big issue is that there's really no vision and there's no will to power in the United States. We've talked about this multiple times. There is no political will to really build anything. Again, when you have a country that is now taken over and parasited off by the Epstein class, that have their own sorts of will to power to something else, and it's not for this country, and it's not for this nation, and it's not for this people. It's not for the future of this nation at all. Because again, as the Epstein files have shown, our destiny and our children are for sale. And it goes the same thing with California, and there's no consequences to any of this. So it's going to go real quickly, and I'm just going to go through this. About the benefits of high-speed rail travel. We all know about that, right? Here we are.
The very model of modern engineering, it hums across the fruited plains at a top speed of 200 miles an hour. It's revolutionized travel. It's a source of national pride. In Morocco.
So there you go. Yep, that was the gotcha. Yeah, you thought this was going to be in America. No, this is in Morocco. For those of you who remember, France, the French National Railroad Company, SNCF, wanted to try to also build in California. However, it was so bad to even deal with the California government to get this even done that France even said that California is such a dystopian state that we can go ahead and build something even faster in Morocco. That's how dysfunctional California is. That a North African state is less dysfunctional than California to allow the building of a high-speed rail system within 4 years. Within 4 years.
Here in the U.S., high-speed rail looks like
Here we are, high-speed concrete. Oh,
this, hardly passenger-ready. America's hopes for its first high-speed rail were kindled in 2008, when California voters approved a ballot measure for a train connecting Los Angeles to San Francisco in less than 3 hours.
Yeah.
The estimated price tag, $33 billion. Completion date, 2020. It would cut pollution, revitalize local...
Everything that we know. So there you go. Again, you go ahead and you vote for something. You want it done. Which, how many times has the will of California voters been superseded either by the California court or something else entirely? This is what happens all the time. California voted back in the 1980s to get rid of amnesty for mass migrants coming in, and they got overruled. California voted for high-speed rail. $30 billion more or less between Los Angeles, San Francisco by 2020. Very doable. Voted on in 2008. Okay, let's say it takes 10 years to build. Let's say though. So, should have been done. Should have happened. But no. California also voted, by the way. They voted against gay marriage in California. That was an actual majority that voted against it in California, by the way. And it also got overturned. So yeah, it doesn't matter. Voting seems to do nothing in California. And there's no consequences or value given to the will of the people or anything. So yeah, democracy reigns again in California. This is what we get. There you go. That's it. That is 15 years of effort in California, building in the Central Valley between Bakersfield and Merced. It's pretty appalling. It really is.
Cisco in less than 2020.
Here we are. Let's
Gridlock.
see if I can bring it back. There we go.
Status update. Today, the state's high-speed rail authority is preparing to lay its first tracks at roughly the same cost. Only slight course correction here. Instead of LA to San Francisco, it will run 1/3 of that distance, connecting, wait for it, the metropolis of Bakersfield and Merced.
By the way, Bakersfield, not a wonderful place in California, and voted one of the most depressing places in the state of California and in the nation. They've been losing people pretty rapidly over there. The population's declining. 83,000 people is less than even some cities in the Midwest. Some little towns and cities in the Midwest. It's kind of ridiculous. That's where they would go ahead and build it. But anyway, let's
The mismanagement.
real quick.
You say this needs to stop.
Needs to stop.
Congressman Vince Fong, a Republican from Bakersfield, sits on the House Transportation Committee. He says that when California voters first approved high-speed rail, the promise and price tag were more marketing campaign than realistic projection.
We're now in 2026. There are no trains. There's no track laid. It's a complete bait and switch.
If I vote for a mansion in Malibu by next year and someone says, actually, you know what, in 5 years we're going to have a doghouse in Modesto, how do things go so off the rails?
The business plan that was put out in 2008 was very theoretical. This is what we think is going to happen, and it became very clear that they didn't have the specifics worked out.
Yeah. Again, it goes back, no vision. And we're going to talk about how unimpressive these people are, by the way, behind the California high-speed rail. Let's take a look at this character.
This project.
On that point,
One more time.
That they didn't have
so
the
you can
specifics worked
Kind
out.
of hear him.
This project.
On that point, management doesn't disagree. Togh Samashakin is California's Secretary of Transportation, and Anthony Williams, a Rail Authority board member. Both
Okay, so he's got to have the handler there. So this is, by the way, the guy on the right is the Secretary of Transportation. Let me go ahead and put this full screen so you guys can be able to see this. There we go. And there we go. Alrighty, now it's working.
both are relatively new to the job, left to answer for their predecessors.
There were mistakes made. Some of the criticism on this project, I think, are very fair.
What happened?
I don't think the voters fully understood, and neither did we in the public sector.
I'm sorry, what? What do you mean the voters didn't understand? No, the voters understood what they voted for. $30 billion. LA, even if there was some cost overruns, let's say it was $50 billion. Let's say it was $20 billion over budget. Okay, fine. Los Angeles to San Francisco by 2020, very doable. They didn't vote for Bakersfield to Merced. By 2032 was the last, oh man, that was their last prediction, was 2032. For, again, this is the state of it right now, at this point. I don't know where it's going to be by even 2034 at the rate that they're building. But let's go ahead and skip through here.
California's exacting environmental regulations, which triggered all manner of reviews, lawsuits, and delays. As anyone who's renovated a home knows, delay adds to price. So do the high U.S. labor and construction costs, at least compared to many other countries. And while the federal government contributed modestly under the Obama and Biden administrations, the burden fell largely on the state.
When construction started, was the financing there?
All right, so there goes the blame on the environmental, and I get it. The EIS studies that have to take years, environmental impact studies, shouldn't be a thing. And in fact, if the government really wanted to, they could get rid of it. If this project was so important, because it is important. I mean, for any developed nation to not have high-speed rail is laughable. I don't know at this point if the United States can still even be called a developed nation. I mean, you drive around, there's really no pride or respect anymore for our people and our infrastructure. I mean, we're driving to church on Sunday on the highway because we have to go over into the city. And there's trash all over the place. My wife makes a comment, it's like, this is what I imagine Mexico to be. Yeah, it does look like America, in a sense, is a somewhat functioning Latin American country at this point. With all the corruption, all the despotism, with the massive gap between rich and poor. Yeah, I think we're closer to Mexico at this point than we're close to America in the 1950s. We're way closer to Mexico.
Get the necessary political buy-in from the whole state.
So, yeah, again, the whole point of this being, the environmental impact studies, the farmers and the getting the right of way and the high labor costs. Yeah, I get it. All parts. And we've talked about it and we've complained about it for years. And we talked about why high-speed rail and rail building in America and infrastructure is so expensive compared to other countries. New York City spent $2.5 billion for a 3-mile extension of the Q Avenue subway. That took forever to build. Again, the most expensive per mile in the history ever recorded history of any sort of project. Again, for the New York subway. Nothing that crazy or wonderful or really beautiful, honestly. The New York subway is kind of pathetic in what it is and what it looks like right now. I mean, that's the best that America has, and I love going on the subway, but I mean, compared to Tokyo, it's a far cry. A complete far cry, and it's a disappointment of what we did have before and what the subway used to be before 100 years ago. It's pretty sad. So let's go through it. Again, you have the board member of California High-Speed Rail over here, trying to weasel his way over here. This is just mediocre middle management money shuffling right over here.
To learn, we had a lot of growth to do, and you know, it's arguable whether, you know, we should have been clearer about that.
By 2019, costs ballooning and the timeline years off schedule, bipartisan political pressure mounted. Newly elected, Governor Gavin Newsom said this in his first State of the State.
Right now, there simply isn't a path to get from Sacramento to San Diego, let alone from San Francisco to LA.
Again, lack of vision. Lack of vision, lack of respect, lack of will to power. That's just basically what it is. We're stuck with pretty bad people in power. I talked about this with and a couple of buddies of mine on a Signal channel, because I know we were talking about and one of my best friends, he's a captain in the Air Force. So actually, no, he got promoted recently, but not to go too much into it. He's also agreed that we should nationalize the military industry here in the United States. My other friend agreed, and I said, you know what, whatever we do, nationalizing this and that, it doesn't matter if the people we have behind it are terrible people. Doesn't matter whether we have laissez-faire capitalism, doesn't matter where we have, managed democracy or national socialism or whatever the hell other system that we want to put into it. If the people behind it are people like this, visionless hacks with no vision, that's what we're going to get. We're going to get the same results no matter what. And that's really comes down to. It's not the tool. It's who's behind the trigger, pulling the trigger, are the results you're going to get.
Under Newsom, who didn't respond to repeated interview requests,
Oh, of course he wouldn't respond.
California decided to focus on that initial Central Valley segment.
Oh, man.
The route
And like the worst place in California. I said, LA to San Diego, the easiest path. You already have the Pacific Surfliner running there. Amtrak's, I believe, 8th or one of the top 10 routes in the nation in terms of passenger revenue, in terms of passenger capacity. Fantastic place to do it. You can still have the Surfliner going, have that as a service, but then have your express high-speed rail, passenger rail, and another right-of-way. Be able to get from LA to San Diego in 30 minutes. 100 miles? Pretty easy. 30, 45 minutes. Easy. Done. But that's not what they want to do. And a much easier place to do it because the Central Valley is a pretty red part of California. I don't know. I'm not quite too sure now. But again, California is pretty mixed. It's not all blue. Okay. I've been to LA. Okay. There's a lot more red in California. And remember, Trump almost, I believe by 5 points was the gap in Los Angeles County. San Bernardino County went full on for Trump. They went like 55 to 45 Biden. Okay? Again, it doesn't matter where they go for. The will of the people, they're just not listened to. Not respected or anything.
No longer permits you to finish it the way you wanted to. You start cutting off your arms and legs.
Lou Thompson helped found Amtrak in the 1970s and until 2024 sat on California's high-speed rail peer review group.
We've heard people say time to cut bait. We've heard people saying what happened in the past is the past. Failure is not an option.
Failure is always an option.
Again, no vision. I know he's trying to be funny, but I mean, that's not what you want to hear from a leader. Failure is always an option. Slight chuckle. It's not what you want to hear. It's not confidence-inducing at all.
Is that what's going to happen here?
No, I don't think so, but
Oh, man. Okay, I guess he's kind of, look, all respect to him, but, wasting away again in Margaritaville. There we go. All right, let's keep
I
going.
think what will happen in the short range is that they will cut back and do the best they can with the money they have available.
Here outside Fresno in California.
It's just, again, there's no confidence in this government. There's no complete lack of vision all over the place.
Locals here jokingly refer to it as their own Stonehenge.
We call it high-speed concrete.
Ideally, these bridges and viaducts will one day be used to support California high-speed rail. But for now, these are curiosities in a field, monuments to promises that haven't been met and plans that haven't been executed. Ironic, because American rail was once the world's envy. In the 1800s,
No kidding. No kidding.
The U.S. government oversaw the birth of the Transcontinental Railroad, stitching the country together as it expanded westward.
We turn to the future.
In the 1950s, the Eisenhower administration decided that the transportation vanguard was off the tracks, creating and critically continuously funding the interstate highway system,
And the family car is in tip-top shape.
fueling the world's proudest car
All right, I
culture.
had to do that.
Meanwhile, Japan's famous bullet train opened in 1964, and today more than 20 countries have high-speed rail, generally.
Okay, and let's go real quick. Just real quick reminder about Japan's bullet train. Built and R&D'd within 6 years. They started in 1958. They got it done by the Tokyo Olympics in October of 1964. Okay? By California's previous, by the way, this was their previous cost. Okay? They were going to do it, I believe this was off of $65 billion. Okay? There's no R&D needed. High-speed rail is a reality that's done. You could go hire the Germans, you can go hire the Chinese, you can go hire the Japanese, you can go hire the French, you can go hire the Spanish. Okay? They may take a little more time. They may take a siesta, but they'll get it done at some point. I'm pretty sure. A lot faster than what California's doing right now. But, again, this was half the cost. Okay? California took 26 in 2018 dollars. It's okay. Let's take it to $2026, okay? $2026, that's probably, let's say, $35 billion, okay? $35 billion between Tokyo and Osaka, okay? About 330 miles, okay? We're talking at a cost of $8 million per mile, and that's including the initial research and development, because nothing like this had ever been created, ever, okay? That had never been created. They had to go ahead and build this and design this from scratch. Okay, not like a train has ever been invented. They had a pretty good jump start. But again, this is something that they had to go ahead, research and develop, to go ahead at a 200 kilometer mile an hour, or in American, because again, hold on. What the fuck is a kilometer? 125 miles an hour. 125 miles an hour. Okay, back in 1964, half the cost of what California was charging before. Now it's probably less than triple the cost. It's kind of sick. It's kind of sad. It really is. Okay. By the way, this is not something new to California. We talked about this before too. Okay. California did an audit back in 2018. It's called its flawed decision making and poor contract management have contributed to billions in cost overruns and delays in the system's construction. Okay. Again. Reminder, let's put in the magic number. The magic number is 6, 6, and 6. What do we get here over here? Oh, wait. We also identified significant concerns with the authority's collection and evaluation of deliverables for its $666 million RDP consulting contract. Okay, it's again. Bruh. They did this in 2018. This was a study and an audit they did 8 years ago. This was 8 years ago, nearly a decade ago, in the last decade. And they found out, here's a quick, $500 million. Quite serendipitously, $666 million. I don't know if they were summoning something out of Epstein's Island or whatever else. Pretty strange number, California. You could have picked 665 or maybe 700. Make it a cool 700 million. It had to be 666. But look at this. Missing formal acceptance notices of 70 of the 80 deliverables. 70 out of 80 had no acceptance notices. They did not have 184 deliverables that the RDP consultants have reported. So all we know is this was just a money laundering scheme. That's it. It was a money laundering scheme. And guess what happened? After 2018, how many arrests? How many arrests? Let me see if I have do I have a drum roll? Do I have a drum roll? Let me see if I have a drum roll. Let me see. Do we have one? How many arrests? 0. 0 arrests. 0 again. No consequences, no changes. This has been the same thing over and over again when it comes to California. And then they have the goal to be here. Hold on, sniding and smiling and saying, well, the voters didn't understand. Okay? This guy obviously has no clue what's going on. He doesn't want to be there, and I don't blame him. Not a position for him to be in. Okay? Granted. But this guy, this guy, you can tell just from the body language. He knows a lot more than he's putting on. He knows exactly what he's doing in this position, and he knows he's getting away with a lot.
Today, in the Central Valley.
It seems to me one farmer doesn't want high-speed rail going through his field, and you've got a guy that can gum up the works for a long time.
Yeah, that's what happens sometimes in these processes.
That's what happens sometimes. That's what happens sometimes. I mean, you're the state. You're the great state of California. Okay, California, right? You can just go ahead and say, I guess not. I guess not. You can't even do it. California can't even do that. But yeah, we can tell what's going on here. Let's go straight through. Let's get some
At 150 miles an hour or more.
Right line.
Yes, Germany and France and China, but also Turkey, Indonesia. Egypt has broken ground.
The obvious question there is, like, how can it be
There's Mike.
that we can't get it done and they can get it done, right? We know we can do this. It's an economic engine, right?
Mike Reininger is managing director of Brightline West, a private company that believes it can achieve what California hasn't.
Oh, wow. Next stop, Zurich. It's like a European train system.
This train, which opened in 2018 and runs between Miami and Orlando, hits top speeds of around 125 miles an hour. Not quite high speed, but close.
Yeah, it's not as impressive in terms of speed, but being inside Brightline, by far, a far more comfortable experience than driving. Way more comfortable, by far the best train experience here in the United States. I would say it does rival that of Japan. By the way, seeing that beer, that Stella Artois on the table right there, it's getting me a little thirsty, so I'm gonna have this blood orange Belgian style white ale with fruit and spices. Okay, I'm gonna be a little bit aristocratic today and enjoy my Belgian beers. You know I do love my Belgian beers. There we go. Alrighty, and maybe we'll have an orange or a banana. There we are. So let's get that in and strap on in, folks, because we still got about we're a little bit more than halfway there, and it's 8:42, so we're getting there.
It's akin to a beta test for Brightline's next project, a bullet train connecting LA and Las Vegas in just over 2 hours, a trip that can take 5 hours by car.
Brightline West will be true high-speed rail, first time in the country, and we'll operate at speeds of about 200 miles an hour maximum.
Out west, Brightline is solving the right-of-way issue by running on the median of the I-15 highway.
Yeah. Now, again, the only problem I'm seeing with this is, they are building.
The plan is to start service in 2029.
What are you telling people to get them out of their cars or getting them to avoid the airport?
It's more enjoyable. It's safer. It's reliable. This really is all about changing people's behavior.
You don't think
It's just common sense. Just what it comes down
we're
to,
just
common
this
sense.
car culture is intractable. It's so hardened and it's so much a part of the American psyche, it just can't be cracked.
I don't think so at all.
Cultural questions aside, Brightline's Florida trains run at street level through crowded neighborhoods.
Okay, we know where they're going to right now. We've talked enough about this, so maybe we'll just skip this. I know we're getting a little too pressed for time over here. But again, a problem is that Brightline could have been built and ready by the LA Olympics, by 2028. But now it's had to be delayed over to 2029 because, again, they had to get all the right-of-way acceptances, and they're still looking for a little bit more cash. Now, they still have the money that they got from the Biden administration. Trump has not taken that away. He took away the $4 billion away from California, which, I mean, it took that long for California to get building and use that $4 billion. That's on California. I mean, from as much of Trump's faults as he is right now, is he's lost his mind. Okay, Trump has gone off the deep end for sure at this point. But for all of that, he has not taken away Brightline's grant for $3 billion. So it's at least something. And take the money, go build it. At this point, who cares anymore? I don't care where the money comes from. If Biden gives the money or if Trump gives the money, take the money and build something as quick as we can. Please just get it done. That's all we need to do. But let's get back to the clown show that is California over here. Here we go.
State funds can cover the cost of the Central Valley leg. As for the rest,
Just to be clear, as we speak right now, are the funds there to complete LA to San Francisco?
The entire amount of money we need, not there today. But do we believe we can get those funds to get the project done? Absolutely.
How
At least he feels confident about that.
much do you estimate it's going to cost to connect high-speed rail San Francisco to LA?
Today, we estimate with the right optimization, just over $125 billion. I think $126 billion is
that's more funding
$125
than
billion. $125 billion. He just says that with a straight face. Yeah, just $125 billion. I'm pretty sure California will be able to go ahead and fund it itself. We'll just keep squeezing the taxpayers dry. Somehow squeeze every little business as much as we can out of them. Meanwhile, businesses are leaving California in droves because we can't have a state with a good business environment anyway. So, again, there's a lot more nuance there, but I mean, it's sad. I mean, look, LA was once a beautiful, gorgeous city. If you go to LA now, it's a derelict, dirty has-been. It's terrible. It's disgusting. It's sad. It's sad what has happened to California, because it honestly is one of the most beautiful countries, if not the most beautiful, one of the most beautiful states in the nation. And just completely wasted. Absolutely and completely wasted. Okay? And again, $125 billion, more money than Amtrak has ever received in its entire 50-plus year history. That is insane. To build this. This is the legacy of the California high-speed rail. nearly 20 years in the making. By the way, more than that, because Governor Jerry Brown, in his first term, oh so long ago, also proposed it. The California High-Speed Rail Authority came into action within the 90s. So they had all this time to plan this. They had about as much time as some of you guys have been alive, whether you're, Gen Z, millennial, or zillennial, like some of us over here. This has been in plans. But again, there's been no vision. It's at this point, it is safe to say that the California High-Speed Rail Authority is a money laundry scheme at best. Again, this is from Secretary Duffy, but he's got a point. Here we are. Let's bring it
said
back.
the administration is in favor of high-speed rail, but this
Yeah. The administration is working to usher in a golden age of transportation. Do you feel like we're in the golden age, folks? Do you feel so golden? That vision includes high-speed rail, and we're exploring opportunities to efficiently build that infrastructure in America. Yeah, apparently not so much. The priorities seem to be blowing up the hell out of Iran and sending them back to the Stone Age. That's their words, not mine. What this administration won't stand for is boondoggle projects like Newsom's Train to Nowhere that wasted billions of taxpayer dollars yet delivered nothing to the American people. Okay, so all right, go build it yourself then. Build it yourself. I mean, look, great, agreed. I'd like to build high-speed rail. It should be built. It shouldn't fail, unlike Mr. Smiley over there. But this is just sad that we're stuck at basically looking at concrete, at CGI renderings, and nothing really substantial. Nothing has been delivered. It may be delivered by we'll just leave it at this.
there are other ideas for U.S. high-speed rail, say Dallas to Houston, but nothing else in the building stage, leaving that uneasy overarching question.
Morocco has high-speed rail, and Serbia and China and Japan and Western Europe. Why don't we? What's your simple answer?
Well, the simple answer is they've decided they want to do it and pay for it, and we haven't.
He's right. He's 100% right. This is the quickest answer, apart from Mike Reiniger. This guy's right. You know what? Yeah, he could have been, and that's the thing. Maybe he's being a bit of a doomer, but he's right. It just goes to, again, political will and prioritization. Do you want to build it or not? This is the richest nation in history. The fact that we don't even have actual true high-speed, you can kind of count Brightline, but Brightline is technically, in international sense, higher speed rail. Doesn't go 150 miles an hour. Could, but can't. The Acela. Yeah, it is technically high-speed rail. It does go 160 miles an hour for 5 minutes, about it. Across the rest of the Northeast Corridor, it can't. Because the infrastructure, it's a 120-year-old infrastructure that's falling apart. It's getting fixed quite slowly, but it's still getting fixed. But
You think we will in our lifetimes?
I don't know. I'm dubious. Absent a national political will to work with the states to create some of these systems, I think it's going to be, in, of course, my lifetime, almost certainly not, but maybe yours, I don't know.
so there we go. Yep, that was 60 minutes. A pretty good segment. And I'm usually not a fan of 60 minutes. It's at this point, Boomer leftist propaganda, but this was actually pretty solid. But yeah, this is this is what the normies have seen. At least the older normies, because I don't really know who else. I mean, apart from YouTube, I got 314,000 views. Okay, as of April 5th, so that's not bad. Not bad. It has gotten some engagement. So, I mean, yeah, that's if that's what the political zeitgeist is from, what is it, NBC or CNBC, whichever one of the 6 networks it comes from. CBS. There you go. One of the I'm sorry, 5. I think we're down to 5 major networks now, or 5 major media conglomerates that own all of our media. But yeah, look, this is the thing. This has been done. This has been looked at. And even California, the state of California itself, look, they even have a whistleblower line for complaints and state employee misconduct. Contact us through the whistleblower hotline. Okay. Oh, you have a whole lot of misconduct that's happened here. Respectfully, Elaine M. Howell, California State Auditor. The authority has partially offset Central Valley's cost overruns, blah, 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 blah. As a result, it cannot demonstrate that the large amounts it has spent on its contracts have been necessary or appropriate. Okay, so they wasted the money. It's obvious fraud. What have you done? Nothing. That's the problem. This country has lost a lot of pride in itself. I mean, it's gone pretty sad. I mean, again, I found the thing from China. It's the Gupatan shiplift. There you go. Look at this thing over here. This is what they were able to go. By the way, money that was stolen from us, or not, I wouldn't say stolen from us. It was our own companies and our own shareholders in America that gave China all this power. And you know what? Good for China, because they knew what game was being played, and they played it for themselves correctly. So all the money, all the financial power within the world that they've been able to acquire, they used it to build infrastructure that nobody's going to take from them. Nobody's going to call on those loans to go ahead and walk over to China and take away their infrastructure. They've built a whole bunch of dams all over the place. I know it's a joke. Oh, one small Moab on the Yellow River Dam, just one little Moab. But yeah, we can't even stop Iran from blocking the strait. So who's to say we're going to go into China and do whatever? At this point, it's a joke, and we're not going to really do anything when it comes to China. At this point, look at this. They can take a ship, lift it up hundreds of feet up into the air. The amount of engineering in that is incredible. I mean, especially given the amount of pressure and weight of the amount of water in there. Okay, because you got to understand just very simple physics of how that all has to work together, and the amount of concrete, okay, in order to hold up that much weight and that much water weight in there. It's incredible. They could build stuff like that, and we used to build stuff like that here in the United States. Again, Los Angeles and California was able to build the LA Aqueduct in 4 years. 110 years ago. Florida, under with Henry Flagler at the helm, the overseas railroad between Miami and Key West, 7 miles across the Straits of Florida. The largest bridge ever at that point in history. Incredible. Incredible feats of engineering over 100 years ago. Okay? You cannot say, and here's the thing, okay? Our elites nowadays are just these it's pretty sick. What we have. Okay, so this is the Trump library over here on the right. And this is the the Obama library. Let's go ahead and take this off of the full screen over here so you guys can see this. Okay? And everybody's, this was last week, everybody's saying, oh, which one do you prefer? Okay? Let's see, which one? Do you want post-career money laundering scheme, tall and ugly, versus post-career money laundering scheme, stout and ugly? Which ones do you want? Which ones do you want? Because this is what the elites nowadays. This is the this is their odes to themselves that they're building. Okay, this is what a library from the Mellon family looked like 100 years ago. This was from literally 100 years ago. This is the Cathedral of Learning. I've brought this up before at the University of Pittsburgh. Okay, completely different night and day difference between what our elites are building nowadays. Okay, we have very unimpressive, visionless hacks of elites that have no sense of noblesse oblige and no sense of any sort of mandate of heaven. I believe, honestly, those two need to be synthesized together in this day and age, okay? Combining the concepts of noblesse oblige, which if you're at the top, if you're, let's say, no, again, this comes from, the nobles oblige, okay? You should, and you have an obligation to help those underneath you. Now, a lot of that, again, was mandated by the Catholic Church in the medieval times and by a Christian sense of paternalism, and that also mirrored itself within the Gilded Age of America, which, again, for as crazy and as insane as some of these captains of industry were, because I will say it like this, I honestly, the rich and the elites that we had back in the Gilded Age were definitely captains of industry versus the robber barons of today. Okay, the term robber barons being used on the rich of back then, honestly, it's kind of hypocritical and ironic from them. And again, a lot of these people, some of them were pretty god awful. Okay, Rockefeller and whatnot, but they didn't hide that fact. They knew they were awful, and they didn't try to hide away from that. Okay. Now they left a whole bunch of different buildings and absolutely beautiful works of art. I mean, here's what there you go. Here's what Cornelius Vanderbilt left, Grand Central Terminal. But again, I mean, there has to be, and here's the other thing. Again, the elites were they had a bit more obligation back then because there was a bigger sense of patriotism back then. Okay. They weren't going to go and fly away to Little St. James. They weren't going to go fly away to Greatest Ally or fly off the City of London. They were stuck here. They were staying here. Okay? And especially back in the early 1900s, they had a lot of threats against them. And a lot of those threats also came true. So again, I would say noblesse oblige plus mandate of heaven. If you cannot provide the people what they need and truly deserve, or any to that sort of, maybe not deserve, but you know what I'm saying over here. If there is no obligation to the people, then the mandate of heaven is taken away from you. And again, there's in a secular society that has globalized itself and has gotten rid of God, I honestly do believe there's definitely a metaphysical component that is missing from America nowadays. It has become a very godless nation. And that has to be said about the president too. His behavior on Sunday was pretty appalling. I just heard today he didn't even go to church on Easter Sunday, the holiest of days. For, so-called Trump, the evangelical messiah, right? That they all voted in droves for him. Okay? And look, I voted for the guy 3 times. The first time was an actual real vote. The other 2 times were out of spite for the other side. Okay? But again, at this point, voting doesn't really matter anymore at this point, at least in a national sense. Your local elections, you do have a choice, and you should go ahead and practice that. But yeah, this is what we're left with. Okay, this is the elites of back then versus the elites of now. Okay, and honestly, there should be some sort of consequences. Again, there's no consequences to anybody. Bad people with no real talent are the ones in charge. That's what we have. By the way, if you guys enjoyed the April Fool's Helldivers 2 LARP that was going about on X, I thought I enjoyed it. I barely had. There we go. I'm gonna give myself a like. That's very cringe of me, but I'm gonna do it. Yeah, that's all right. I'll take it back. There we go. Accountability is paramount to manage democracy, which is why the Super Earth Rail Club has forced early 21st century California politicians into suspended animations and several hundred years of hard labor to finish construction of the Super California High-Speed Rail Project, opening in 2187. Yeah, that's what should be happening. They should be working on this until it is done. That's it. And even then, probably stuck in suspended animation in a Matrix-like system, pretending that it's getting done, but never actually getting it done. Just forever alone in a sort of I have no mouth and I must scream environment. That's what they kind of deserve at this point. Alrighty, guys, I'm done talking. It is 9 o'clock. Let's go ahead and bring you guys on board. Let's go ahead and actually put, where is our background? There we go. Our comfy rail car. There we go. Let's get the music started. Where it is. There we go. Comfy. Alrighty. No, I'm not putting that on for the rest. I'm just making a point. There we go. Alright, guys. Let's bring everybody on board. This is actually... This may be the last time I may be on. Who knows? Or at least for a good bit. Not the last final time, but at least for a couple of weeks. Who knows?
Good evening, bud.
Good evening. How's it going?
Well, we got some good rail news. I got it's three short line, or technically two short line news. And one of them is from my state, from Palmetto Rail. I sent the article in live chat. It's talking about Palmetto Rail.
Alrighty, here we go. Alright, one article per person, and then we'll get through. Let's see if we can get this in... Let's see. We're going to give everybody at least some equal time over here, and then we'll open it up for everybody to go and just be as crazy as possible. All right, South Carolina's Palmetto Railways activating route dormant since 2012. There we are. That's some good news.
Decade.
That is.
Bitline's been abandoned for over a decade when the coal power plant in that area shut down, and now they're completely rebuilding it. You know? Like... I remember that, you know?
Hi, everybody. I'm back.
Hey there.
It's super crazy, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's at least something. So what is being built over here that they're rebuilding the line? Or what industry is coming back over here?
They got a steel mill being built up there. Like, they literally got a steel mill being built up there, but they also got a fertilizer plant that are also being built, and both of them are going to be served by rail. These are heavy rail customers, you know?
There we are.
So,
that's actually really good. Again, there's some slight hope over here. And look, at least the good thing about America, why I'm not also doom and gloom. I mean, I'm being as realistic as possible. But America has such a wealth of natural resources over here that even if the worst were to happen, we'd still be better off than most countries. And by most countries, I mean like 90% of the countries. I mean, even Japan is having massive issues because 80% of their oil comes from the Gulf. They're gonna get economically wrecked.
So speaking of that, Dimitri, I got something really cursed.
All right, let's see what we got over here. Oh no.
Yeah, this sounds like a lot of
oh no.
Besides.
This is on DeviantArt. All you had to say was DeviantArt. I didn't even have to read the rest. But anyway, yes, I am now permanently scarred and can never look at the CPRK 1484 the same way ever again. And yes, you all should have a look at it too. F you all. Oh man, that is the most that is extremely cursed. David, no thank you for sharing that. Absolutely.
Following your brain.
Oh man. Okay. Adam.
I had to see it, so y'all had to see it. You know.
Well, at least some please. Some mercy for the rest of us. Okay, what is this over here?
Well, here another curse name of Thomas.
What? What did you just do?
Sorry.
It's not a Thomas bus?
Yep.
I just hate how this is gonna work in real life.
Why would you not have nice things?
All right, yeah, that is that's also cursed.
Yes,
That's
because
just
I've never
Thomas
seen.
from Timu. That's what it was.
But yeah,
Alrighty.
but Dimitri, like, didn't the big thing for South Carolina, because you're a team, the original railroad that owned that line went out, shut down in 2012, but the railroad was way bigger back in the day. It was a short line railroad that operated in the area. And what happened was that they ran their railroad into the ground. Like, they ran it into the ground.
All right.
Like,
So it
they
took
had
them.
a
Okay,
lot
so
of-
this hold on. So this is owned by the state of South Carolina. They spent $3
Yep.
million in route rehabilitation, including the bridge improvements, tire replacement, track servicing, and upgrades of safety equipment. And that's over 40 miles. An additional $6.5 million infrastructure work planned over the next 2 years. So they're spending $10 million to get 40 miles done. So that's again, that's a pretty good. That's $2.5 million. I'm sorry, less than that per mile. It's $250,000 per mile. And look what they're able to get completed.
And here, team, did railroad the original operator or the original owner of the railroad? Because Palmetto Rail bought it from them, but the original operator, the railroad line into the ground. Like,
Yeah.
they got greedy. They got greedy. They lost all their customer. The only customer they had left was the coal power plant. And when that shut down in 2012, it was over for them. You know, they literally destroyed all their customer base. They had no way to fall back on. They literally destroyed themselves with stupidity. Which
Alrighty.
I'll put up. What happened when you run your railroad into the ground and get greedy? Am I right?
Yeah, no, for sure. I
Yep,
appreciate
I can
you
see that.
sharing that, David. All right, let's go to Adam's article. Something new in the last hour. Amtrak lines proposed for Shreveport and Bossier area. Southern Rail Commission in early stages for bringing passenger service to the region. There we are. The Southern Rail
Yeah,
Commission.
I've read about this.
Yeah, this is pretty good. The Shreveport Bossier area in the coming years, Knox Ross with the Southern Rail Commission said they are in the preliminary stages of getting an Amtrak train to come through the area. The proposed route would split from the existing Crescent Amtrak service, which runs from New York through Atlanta to New Orleans. The current existing Crescent Amtrak service that runs from New York to New Orleans, it was split in Meridian, Mississippi, and bring a section of the train across from central Mississippi to North Louisiana and Texas over to Fort Worth. There we go. And that's definitely a place that has been extremely underserved, for sure. With a tremendous amount of... Why'd I have to bring the AI data centers? Are the AI data centers going to ride the trains? What, for the 30 people working at the AI data centers are going to be riding on the train? Going on in the I-20 corridor, especially in Louisiana, Mississippi, the amount of economic activity is beginning to show itself. We have to find a way to get people to us and around. I mean, how about just having the opportunity to get people moving around outside of the car? I mean, that would make more sense, but I get it.
It is possible, but
Yeah.
the whole corridor from Meridian to the Dallas area, that'd be positive because it's been marked in Texas.
Yeah, and there's really no. I mean, Texas is extremely underserved when it comes to rail. I mean, you have DART, and let me see who else over here mentioned it. Brian Rock Railfan mentioned SNCF tried in Texas too. Yeah, they were going to build what was going to be called the Texas Triangle, which was going to be a high-speed rail service built in the 80s by the French. But guess what happened? In our free market economy, guess who came to the rescue to make sure that didn't happen? Southwest Airlines lobbied the Texas state government to kill the SNCF project, the Texas Triangle. So yeah, that is free market in the United States as it goes, which is it's definitely not free market. Again, it's privatize the gains, socialize the losses, lemon socialism. That's what we have here in America.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of that, I do want to bring it up. We know what happened to the North Star commuter rail trains that they're down in Texas now for TxDOT.
Well, let's
They're all
go on
down
that.
there, all
Because
the-
Adam has another
all the
article.
train sets?
Hold on. Adam has another article. We still have time. Lou Thompson, again, who was on the 60-minute segment. California high-speed rail has reached a dead end. And this is a article that came out today based on what was on Sunday and probably recorded even before. here you are. My name is Lou Thompson from 2009 to 2024. He was on there for a good bit. And for him to stick the knife right into California, I don't blame him. If I were in there that long, seeing the amount of failure and absolute clownery that was going on within the California High-Speed Rail Authority, I'd be pretty pissed off too. I was chairman of that legislative committee from an independent study of the problems experienced in the project and what to do about them and the lessons that should be learned. Subsequent reports by the authority, the 2025 project update report, the 2025 supplemental project report, and the draft 2026 business plan have underlined the urgent need for such a study because both of the difficult situation the project faces and because of the risks the project poses to the state. The views below are my own and should not be attributed to anyone else. Let me see. It describes that the project has reached a dead end. How did this happen? The grand vision, quote-unquote vision, of the project sold to the public in Proposition 1A was far short of any realistically achievable cost and schedule. This could have been due to naivete, irrational exuberance, or strategic misrepresentation, short-sighted political self-promotion, or more likely a combination of all four. He's got a point over there. I mean, I don't think there was really any sort of real vision behind the California High-Speed Rail Prop 1A.
I think...
But, I mean, like, if they started, hey, we want to go ahead and start between Los Angeles to San Diego. That's what we want to start with. Eventually, we'd like to connect the rest of California together in a... Because, again, Japan didn't start with, we want to connect the whole country together. They just said, we want to connect the two biggest cities by the Olympics. They got it done.
Osaka and Tokyo.
Yeah. And California didn't have, I mean, they had Los Angeles and San Diego right there. Right there. Two of the biggest cities. I mean, San Diego, maybe not as big as San Francisco, but pretty massive. Right there. Could have been done. But, I mean, it's
just... where a line that goes there.
Yeah. Just a complete just waste of time. And I don't think California is going to get... They're going to keep working on this. And it's going to be a bigger joke as it keeps going on. If it keeps going like this without any sort of real change or any sort of real consequences to everyone responsible at the authority and in and around it, because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of no-named again, I mean, $666 million to consultants. No names, but I'm pretty sure there's a lot that can get to. The slammers can be full here. Let me see. Assumed completion of phase 1 in 2033. I'm sorry. Did I say 2032? I meant 2033 for phase 1 from Bakersfield to Merced. Oh man. It's not.
That includes everything. Yeah. Unless I see progress, unless I see a train on that track, then I see progress.
Yeah, I don't think so, Adam. I don't think we're really going to get there. It's sad, and California, if there's any estate that needs high-speed rail, it's absolutely California. But this is it. This is so goes California, so goes the nation. This is what we have to look forward to if we don't have an absolute major change. And a lot of it, I do believe, is also generational. Going over the silver tsunami that is happening with a lot of these small businesses going on. Again, a lot of baby boomer business. And again, not all baby boomers. But if you go to any of these, like we did back in Florida, for these commission meetings to support Brightline or any sort of high-speed rail or any sort of transit project, most of the people supporting it are going to be from all different types of ages. There's a massive concentration of people who are against it, all baby boomers. Nobody under back then, nobody under the age of 55 there. And there's the very stark and very sad generational gap that shouldn't be existing, but it's just showing. It's like that the Greek myth of Kronos eating his children, of the Greek pantheon. That's what we're seeing here in this country. It's just being eaten alive.
It's sad.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know, in the Greek mythology, Kronos is the father of Zeus, Hera, and Poseidon, and all the other main Greek gods. He didn't want them usurping him, so he just kept eating them. And because they're well, they're gods in mythology. They just kept regenerating, so he just kept eating them to keep them away. Only Zeus was hidden away by Kronos' wife, to be able to grow up in a cave, and then took away and took over from his father and freed the rest of the Greek pantheon. So that's the story in a nutshell. Anyway, appreciate that, Adam.
Next one. So yeah, this one came up. I think I don't know if you had got it already, but it's talking about the halt of CSX freight and Amtrak service in Grand Rapids, the Chicago to Grand Rapids route.
Okay, we'll bring that up. But first, let me see. Is there any other articles that anybody wants to bring up? Minor Tree, you've been quiet over there. How you doing?
I've been doing great, just enjoying some biscuits and gravy.
There you are.
So it's a rather tasty dinner, but I mean, for the most part, going back to the 60 minutes video when he started laughing and talking about failure, in business, you're allowed to laugh at failure if and only if, one, you had actual success fairly recently, and two, if you learned anything from the failure that has happened. From what I've seen, he hasn't seen success since the project has started, and I don't think they've learned anything from it. So it comes off as being ignorant of the facts of the case and just being completely dismissive.
Yeah,
that's one thing.
No, yeah, agree with that, and yeah, it is pretty shallow, and I get he was on the board of Amtrak, but again, we're talking about Amtrak in the 1970s. It was made to fail at the beginning, so I don't know if that's really something you want to put on your resume as something that you've done. It's like, yeah, I was on the board of Amtrak. Oh yeah, when? Oh, the time that we were, trying to sunset away rail travel in the United States, and we thought it was going to just disappear, and this was made to fail, but I guess I didn't even succeed at making it fail either. I mean, I don't know if that's from that perspective, I don't know if you can really tell if that's if that's a success or not.
Yeah. But to address the thing, they're like, oh, we need to have this environmental reviews to deal with this. I just asked for one thing and one thing only. I need both houses of Congress to agree on just one simple law change. Just one. We can do it over the week if we wanted to. That once passed, and they need another environmental review to see whether or not trains are better than automobiles, that whoever suggests that is immediately having to wear the dunce hat for at least 100 hours straight in public.
Ooh,
and you can add on to the time for repeated offenses, because yes, a steam train will end up having better emissions than everyone driving their individual cars. I mean, it's stupid. We've known this for decades. I'm not saying I would implore violence on them, but there would be laying on of hands around the neck repeatedly, very, very hard, and just giving a little shake. It's like, why do you do this? Yeah. Don't make me have to go Homer Simpson on you.
I mean, I know we've made jokes about baseball bat nationalism at this point, and it's kind of tongue-in-cheek, because at this point it's like, yeah, I mean, the frustrations that we're all holding in because of the failures, just complete failures of our leaders to do anything real and specific, is just appalling.
No baseball bats are needed. I just need you to go grab a shovel. I need you to dig a hole. It's about 2.5 feet by 2.5 feet by about 5 feet deep, and we're gonna just bury them standing up. And I'm not saying that fire ants will be involved, but if they are involved, I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just gonna walk away.
Well, hold on. I hope
the ground, so they could just deal with it themselves.
Okay. Well, I hope whoever's digging those holes are not from the California High-Speed Rail Authority, because we've all seen how they use their shovels, and it's not particularly.
It would take them a month to dig that hole.
Oh man, hold on.
Else would take a day.
Let me see. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me see. Where's the where can I find that video? Darn it. First rail. Let me see. Let's see if I can find it again. Oh darn it! I should have kept this in my bookmarks in X. This should have been. I gotta have, instead of just sound clips, we just gotta have video clips that we can have over and over again, because that one is definitely something that needs to get done. Let me see. Hammer. Let me see if that comes up. Yeah, it's just, again, pretty sad. I mean, look, compare Henry Flagler to Warren Buffett. I've made the joke that if Warren Buffett were a Zoomer, he'd be in Grand Theft Auto Online, ruining the entire online economy of Grand Theft Auto. He'd just be the one going ahead and speculating on a whole bunch of cars and random hats and destroying the whole entire economy because he's a gremlin that just cares about money. That's it. He's just focused, hyper-focused on that. So that's kind of...
He goes to McDonald's, so he's at least a man of the people. He goes to McDonald's every single morning.
I mean, just to say that he's just... Again, it just like, look at like the culture of like Warren Buffett. I mean, he dresses like crap. Just not, honestly, just not really a good person in that sort of sense. I mean, the guy just lived for money. That was it. I mean, he's still alive. I don't know how, but I mean, yeah. I mean, there's just a massive difference between, let's say, Warren Buffett to Henry Flagler. I mean, just completely two different men of two different calibers. There's no question of that.
Yeah, but Warren Buffett's not coming down with bad cases of insider trading with Nancy Pelosi in the graying.
As far as we know, yeah.
I mean, if you're doing better than Warren Buffett, you're either very intelligent or there's something wrong.
Yeah. Again, it's just no consequences, no changes. It's all we're gonna see. You have to keep repeating that again. Oh man, alrighty, but appreciate that, Minor Tree. Alrighty. Who else is also here? Brightline fan. Genesis.
Yes.
There
Finally.
What are you doing there?
I'm playing Roblox right now, so basically I'm playing...
I can quite see that.
Alright, anyways, there's a lot going on with what's going on in the Dominican Republic. They're still building that monorail. We still have I actually told you that we have the monorail in operation right now. We have one monorail set in operation. I'm comparing it to California, which California has 0 train sets in operation.
So let's look up the Dominican Republic monorail over here just to see it in action.
Do we have to play the song from The Simpsons?
I was just about to say, it's like I was looking at that on the voice mod library and I can't find one, so that's definitely something I have to add on there. Let's see, monorail made by Alstom. Oh boy. Hey, at least they got it built. Let me see, Santiago de los Caballeros. A monorail made by Alstom. There we are. The second largest city in the Dominican Republic with a population of approximately 590,000 is getting a monorail system as an elevated monorail or run under the local name Monorail. A concrete track beams from Via Olímpica over a length of 13 kilometers. Kilometers? You mean 7 miles? To Cienfuegos.
It's closer to 8 miles.
Okay, yeah, 8 miles.
Yeah.
It's expected to be completed by 2027 and 2028. So here you go, guys. I forgot to put this on here, but there you go. Yeah, the Dominican Republic. There you go. It's building a monorail system. Again, not to the same scale as California high-speed rail, but I mean, it's the Dominican Republic, and they're building a monorail, and it's gonna get done before the California high-speed rail. Actually, this building's not too bad. This is pretty cool. This is very Frutiger Aero Y2K looking building over here. This is like something you'd see somebody with an iPod and headphones on over here. The dolphins coming out on your wallpaper. That's what it looks like. That's actually pretty cool. And I'm not really a fan of modern art, but I mean, like, if it's done well, it's done well. It's got a helicopter pad on top too.
Yeah. Meanwhile, we're heading down south to Santo Domingo. They just inaugurated the metro extension all the way to Los Alcarrizos. That was in April. That was like 2 months ago.
Yeah,
I think that was a month ago.
It's pretty sad.
That was fast.
Again, I mean, at this point, is it even fair to say that America is a functioning or somewhat functioning Latin American country when, here's a Latin American country that May not is not nowhere near the GDP per capita of the United States, but they're actually building stuff, and they're probably actually building a monorail. And there's more actual trackage there than California at this point. So yeah, it's kind of sad. At least for us. I mean, it's good for the Dominican Republic, and you know, I just wish our country could actually do cool stuff again.
Well, there's an easy way to solve it. At every single level of government, from the local dog catcher all the way to the president. If you were in office before the year 2000, you are ineligible for re-election. Just replace everybody.
Yeah. I mean,
I
there
don't care if
may
you're
be
good or bad. You're
just
gone.
real quick. It's 9:25, so we got 5 minutes over here. Let me see. Is there anybody else in the audience? So let me see. What's any questions from YouTube that were interesting over here? Let me see. Carter Noel, if it wasn't for the ridiculous lawsuits and delays and overpriced the California high-speed rail project, just some NIMBYs to call it a boondoggle. Yeah, I mean, even if there was, again, the lawsuits could have been pushed out of the way. I mean, when they go ahead and build a highway or introduce more lanes, because, you know, of course you need more lanes for a highway, they just get it done. And that's it. And nobody cares. So that's kind of an issue there. But again, it really is a lack of political will. We'll give Lou some credit, you know. Yeah, even though he has some broken clock is right twice a day, and he's absolutely right. Other countries can build high-speed rail because they want to, and it was a priority, and it's not a priority in this nation. Let me see. Send some news in Shreveport and in Michigan. Does anybody have anything? What's going on over in Shreveport and Michigan?
No, but I can double check.
Let me see. Mr. Reed, should
does it wash out on monorails?
It could be. Let's put that link in there. Should California High-Speed Rail declare Chapter 7 and shut down? I don't even think they're even going to do that at any point. Even this administration, I think they haven't. They're going to last until the next administration. And then let's see what happens there. I don't see the Trump White House shutting it down completely. Again, it's not a priority for them.
And I think it's partially owned by the government, so I don't think they can legally declare Chapter 7. They might be able to declare Chapter 11 bankruptcy, but that just clears whatever debts they can legally do. So if they go that route, it still doesn't touch on the funding they need to continue building.
Yeah.
So it's not a good option to do either, legally speaking. And even if they did, somebody else could buy all the assets and everything at what, 50, 60 cents on the dollar, and then try to find the funding themselves and then do it. But that would be a minimum 3-year delay.
Yeah, I don't think they're again, the present reality right now in California, they're probably not going to shut down. They're going to keep pushing it because they found a way to go ahead and siphon money out and why end a good thing? Why stop a good thing when you can get, you know, millions of dollars siphoned to your buddies as rail delivery consultants or whatever, RDP consultants, whatever the hell that's supposed to really mean. Again, it's just a consultant, but nobody's been arrested so far. Nobody probably ever will, so why stop it?
Oh, speaking of Demetria, to pivot off where we can talk about some good news, CSX is getting ready to reopen, or like they're selling a branch line to become a new short line railroad for, you know, a transload facility.
Okay, let's put that article on.
It up in Maine.
Okay,
Plus,
is that what's going on in Maine?
Yep. CSX is planning to rebuild a branch line that's been shut down for over a decade. You know.
That's it. Here, I'm looking at your memes here, David. Somalia first, proud to be from Somalia. Okay, buddy, back to Somalia, go. No, this is from an older meme from like 10 years ago. The Mexico meme, like with Trump. That was pretty funny.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think
it looks
that's
like
another
Renell
thing.
Reed's
Everybody else
waiting.
is allowed to have their own sort of patriotism and nationalism, except for Americans or anybody from Europe or the West right now, and that's kind of an issue. Okay, today's class is about failure. Oh man, and it's Karl Marx. Okay, let me see.
I see the David.
Yeah, Renell Reed's waiting to come in.
All right, let's bring bring Renell in, and then we'll go ahead and end it here. Renell, you got the last word here, buddy.
Yep.
Come on in.
Renell, come on, bud.
Renell, going once, going twice. It's 9:30. I can hear I can hear the rustling outside.
Are you hear us? Yeah, I don't hear him.
Renell, come on board. Forever hold your peace for at least I don't know. Could be 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Who knows when we'll be on next. There you are.
There we go.
Renell.
Can we hear you?
You hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear, man.
Yes,
Now we can.
There you go.
You hear me?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Can you hear us?
In case you missed it, Siemens, their North Carolina plant. Siemens opened their North Carolina plant.
Oh yeah, that right.
I think
They opened it already?
Friday.
Yeah, that's right. Hold on, let me bring that up. I did see that. Siemens, rail plant open. There we are. Bring up the news. Yeah, that happened within the last week or so. There we are.
Yep.
There you go. Let's actually bring it first party news from an actual Siemens press release over here. By the way, still pretty strange about that that helicopter accident with the Siemens
That was no accident. That was assassination.
Yeah.
That was assassination that they're covering up.
Yeah, again,
Like,
pretty weird, pretty strange. Alrighty. All right, Siemens marks new era in American rail manufacturing with opening a... You know, they do a press release and there's no pictures in their press release. You think, oh, there we go. I had to scroll all the way down. Siemens, you gotta do something about your marketing department here. That's not the best of There we are. All right, so there you go, guys. There's the ribbon cutting right there. And there you go. Well, these trains look pretty familiar. I wonder where you've seen those seats and those tables before. But yeah, there you go. That's at least something. Now, you know, again, it's good. It's great that we're building things. You know, can we build building more? Absolutely, for sure. But let's at least give some credit over here. Siemens employs approximately 45,000 people in the United States. Works with 12,000 suppliers, operates 24 manufacturing facilities nationwide, having invested $700 million in U.S. manufacturing, more than $20 billion in its technology stack since 2007 to support the next era of digital and data-driven transformation. Together with its customers and partners, Siemens Mobility is advancing the next generation of rail from its new home in Lexington, North Carolina, building trains for Americans by Americans. That's a nice way to end it there. So.
Fun fact, Dimitri, it's something I'm going to bring up. When they were voting on where to build that Siemens plant, wanted the location like you were in Charleston, South Carolina, right in my area.
Okay, well maybe
wanted to, like back when they were still trying to vote on where to go, wanted the area on the Charleston stuff right on where my area is down in Ravenel. Like they had a plot of land that was. They were surveying out there, but they did not win with it because one, it was too swampy and all that.
Just part of being in the South, man. I know the feeling. Swamps everywhere.
They're building one in Horseheads, New York.
All right.
Yeah,
Well,
and look, I think
another-
this is we used to have so many different rail manufacturers in the country. Remember, like, what is it, 2 or 3 months ago that we mentioned
The Bud Company.
Yeah, where Bud used to have in Philadelphia, and they were building out more than the whole production of trains that we have across the nation, just in one plant in Philadelphia back in the 1950s and 60s. So, and that was again, we've just fallen so far behind. And our country, like that article that we had here in the beginning. Let me just bring it back up again from the FPRI, the Foreign Policy Research Institute. America is not built for war or peace at this point because we have such a big gap with our industrial resilience. So we have a long ways to go. At least being at this point in time where we are in history. Look, I mean, sure, we can go we can go down even further, but I mean, at this point, we're just looking up at this point. Sure, maybe we'll touch the ground. We're maybe 5 feet away from the ground, but I mean, we still have at least 1,000 feet up to go. So, sky's the limit over here. I think there's going to be better days in America, but we still have a good brunt of the rough times ahead, and I'm pretty sure it's going to get darker still.
I got one more meme. Got one more meme that is funny.
One more meme. Just because things are happening, I'll try to get a little involved here or there, a day or so, and okay, the free market is a capitalist to see. Okay, here are some embargoes. No, we need imports. No, you asked for it. All right, there we go. Blaming on the ANCAP meme over there. It's pretty funny. Oh man.
I mean, what's wrong with the United States now making in a year what we did in World War II in less than a week? I mean, the military-industrial complex need to release the most expensive toys ever and barely making more than a couple a month.
Yeah.
Also,
it's sad. I mean, look, it's our own country's just basically turned into, again, we're not even free market over here anymore because, I mean, how much does it cost to build one Reaper drone? It is around $25 million. Again, for a drone, $25 million. It's not a Bugatti. It's a drone. And in reality, it could be costing anywhere between $10 to $15 million were it not for the military-industrial complex markups. The problem is that, again, these are systems that should be a heck of a lot less expensive, but because Congress and the military-industrial complex has to keep a whole bunch of people employed, so how they've set this up is pretty silly, where they have different factories all across in different districts, because, again, this is all voted upon by Congress, and every congressperson has to make sure that their district is also getting a part of the pork. A bolt is made, let's say, in Springfield, Missouri, and then a system has to get made in Minnetonka, Minnesota or whatever. And then it just keeps going on. So it's like all these different components and parts have to be made all over in the country, whereas it used to be before, you used to have one factory, one place, build one unit. But instead, it has to be divvied out by multiple different processes, multiple different factories, in order to just grease the palms of the military-industrial complex and the different Congress people. So, I mean, this is the issue.
Except for that part where it's like, this factory builds Ford automobiles. It's wartime. All right, we're gonna take the plans to build this bomber. Which manufacturer? We don't care. Just give us the plans.
Yeah,
we'll build it anyway.
And look, in wartime, the U.S. Manufacturing base was more or less industrialized. And the railroads were nationalized, and the railroads were also nationalized and taken over by the government in order to go ahead and move all this stuff. So when the U.S. government does want to do something, again, different sort of people back then, even though I'm not at all a fan of FDR, but I mean, it's the people were what made America back then. People make a place. And if we don't have the same type of people with the same type of vision, we're not getting, it doesn't matter whether we nationalize or sensationalize, whatever the hell we do. It doesn't matter, because France has a nationalized rail network, and it works because it's France. Okay? Japan has a privatized passenger rail network, and it works because it's Japan. Things don't work here in the United States because it's the United States. And the people that we have right now do not represent America. It's as simple as that.
Agreed.
And with that, guys, I think that's a good place to go ahead and end it. So, again, who knows what can happen from here? This little guy may pop out tomorrow. He may pop out in the next hour. He may pop. Who knows? Who knows? But let's see what happens. Again, we have to move forward. We have to move forward with the future. And if anything, all this means is that we have to at least work not just for ourselves, but for the next generation. Okay, maybe Lou is not going to go ahead and see high-speed rail in his lifetime, but we most certainly can. And for at least our children, they can be able to enjoy those benefits. It's called building a tree. You know, if we're planting a tree, the best time, if you want to enjoy its shade, the best time to plant it is now, at least for the next generation. I probably butchered that quote, but there we go, guys. Alrighty. Thank you all for riding on board. I'll let you guys do the goodbyes. We will see you all next time. Take care. Godspeed, whenever that may be. Happy Easter. See you all soon.
Good night.
Happy Easter,
Good night,
everyone.
happy Passover, happy Easter, enjoy the weekend, everybody.